What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household of Allie, Genevieve, and Derek. Amanda is across the globe watching soccer still?
Yes. Down under.
Down under?
Don't worry. She got her return flight just in time for my birthday.
Have we heard
I'm
from
honored.
her? What games has she gone to?
I texted her and it popped up green. So I think she might be off the grid.
I think she's traveling around the whole. Well, Australia is both a country and a continent.
It's true.
So
Obviously.
I don't know is that a little known fact? A little known fact is that Thanksgiving is on a Thursday.
Obviously.
Obviously, a little known fact.
Easter is on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Little known fact.
Well, if just to give it away, our pop culture correspondent is joining us today. The one, the only Natalie Joy returns to the Viall Files.
She's back.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear?
Yeah. Did you hear?
Did you hear?
Oh my God, did you hear?
Did
Because
you
it
hear?
was like all over. It was pretty much the first time we tried.
This can be a very sensitive topic because so many women struggle with getting pregnant that I do just want to give a disclaimer and show some love to the women who do struggle. I've been very close to that. My sister did IVF for years and finally had a baby. They gave the baby a 5% chance the entire pregnancy of surviving outside of the womb. So it was a very tough pregnancy that I was very close to. So those women who do go through that, they're close to my heart. And
I've heard so many of those stories as well. So when we were just like, maybe we just see what happens. I honestly was more like, well, it's not going to happen right away. I think part of me, I always wanted to be a dad for so long. I had so many friends that it took some time and, just it's not as always easy for people or just anyone. We were lucky. Yeah.
Had you nailed down the wedding date before you found out? Was that just an
Yes.
amazing coincidence that the timing
Yes,
kind of
and
works
we
out?
actually were like, oh
We
my
weren't
God, should we move it up and do it this fall while I'm not showing? Should we push it back and just have a 1-year-old at our wedding?
Should we just shotgun it?
Should we just go to Vegas and elope? We definitely tossed around a lot of ideas, but I didn't want to feel rushed in moving it up. And then I have some pretty sick family members and I didn't want to risk pushing it back. So we kind of just kept it and we were like, we'll just have a baby.
Yeah, so it didn't change
at our wedding.
This
date.
seems like perfect timing. That's so amazing.
Hopefully it's perfect timing. It'll be a few months after.
We'll have a baby at our wedding. It'll be amazing. We'll then go on a honeymoon and have a baby. And
Is
have
the
to
baby going to
bring-
go with?
I'm sure we'll have to bring a mom
On the
or
honeymoon?
A
Yeah, I
honey
don't know.
or
Is
something.
Jeff
Story, I'm
coming?
available.
Are we still doing the honeymoon afterwards?
Yes.
We are.
Yes. We'll be bringing along my mom or a nanny or
Oh,
Cindy or Allie or
Hey, yo.
somebody to watch. the
I've
little
been a
nugget.
nanny at a wedding before.
How did you reveal it? Did you show him the test?
We like to cook dinner. We cook a lot of the same stuff over and over. And we have some really high quality meals that we make. Meals that everyone would love. And so Natalie gets home and she's like, you know what we should do? We should film us making kale salad. And I was like, okay, sure. We could put that on the ground.
And I just want you to know how into it he got. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is only about you opening this fucking drawer and seeing these
Well, if
tests.
you're
But
gonna
he's
do
like,
it, let's
no,
do it
no,
right.
let's start over.
Yeah.
I'm
He's like, take
no.
two.
Yeah.
The kale is not
And I was
cooperating.
just shocked that she was weirdly not as. I'm like, this was your idea, and she's just kind of standing there watching me, and as I'm filming this content, and then I opened the drawer, and the positive pregnancy tests were in there, and I was just kind of in shock. And Natalie was filming it, and then I became self-aware that I was being filmed, and then I had this whole I'm doing this wrong mentality.
And I stopped the video and I was like, so it's gonna be
because I
deleted.
stood there, just
Well,
kind of
actually,
looked at
no,
it, kind of in this shocked, kind of
is this real?
is this real?
Yeah.
Are you pregnant? It was, I was definitely caught off guard and frozen in a sense. It was a very surreal thing. And then I looked at the camera and I'm like, I'm supposed to be having a different reaction, but I was just processing everything. It felt really surreal. It was really crazy. It was just such a surreal thing.
Yeah.
And so we kind of stood there. And then, yeah, did we tell anyone that night?
I think we talked about telling our parents maybe.
So yeah, anyways, we found out we were pregnant. And then the first couple days, Natalie was doing the Well, it's weird because like if you get pregnant at first, obviously so early, for first time parents, it's like we're pregnant. And then you're like, as the dad, like nothing really has changed other than you're pregnant. And then for Natalie, she found out really early, right? You found out
3 weeks, if that.
So, she obviously wasn't experiencing any symptoms and certainly not showing or anything like that. So the first couple of days of knowing.
Natalie was the best though, because she would text me and she'd be like, "Oh my God, it's kicking."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my God."
She's like, "Am I nauseous?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Am I showing?" I don't know. Again, the first 2 days we were very excited, but like didn't feel pregnant.
Yeah.
And certainly I didn't, but Natalie did it. And so, yeah, it was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm like, do I have morning sickness? Like, am I showing? Do I have cravings? And, we were having fun with it. And, and then 3 days later or something like that, it just like hit her. And then it was like, yeah, fuck, she was pregnant. And yeah, you've been experiencing a ton of morning sickness.
Yeah, that lasts all day, all night, all the time. It never ends. It's been honestly hell.
I think Amy Schumer had like the documentary about her pregnancy. It was really difficult too. You should like talk to her.
Oh my God.
Like Amy, we can be friends.
Was she sick the whole time?
Amy.
Yes. Yeah. It was really difficult. Well, but she had hypermesis gravidarum.
What is that?
She was like hospitalized a ton. Like they filmed this documentary because she was pregnant during one of her stand-up tours, and she'd be at the hospital tweeting at like the stadium, like, I know I'm in the hospital. I'm sure you saw my Instagram story, but I will be there tonight. Going from the hospital to the stand-up shows, from the stand-up show back to the hospital.
She was still performing.
Oh my God.
Yes.
In the hospital.
Yeah. Well, in the hospital.
No, front, like,
yeah,
and
exactly.
in the
Live
hospital.
streaming.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you're not that sick.
No, I'm definitely not hospitalized. Yeah. I definitely like been constantly nauseous, constantly queasy, mixed with like you have to eat enough because you want to like obviously give your baby nutrients, but nothing tastes good. Everything tastes like a little off or like maybe a little old, a little sour, a little moldy, It's great. And I love food. I love eating. I typically am a person who eats a lot. And I have never been more pissed off in my life. But we're getting through it.
Would you say it's getting a little better?
Yeah, it's getting a little better. I'm not like sick all throughout the day anymore. Sick in the mornings and maybe a little bit at night.
How would you say it's affected our relationship?
Oh, it's definitely brought us closer. I mean, there's been pockets of beautiful moments, obviously, like going to the doctor, getting ultrasounds, seeing our baby. And I think like we went at 5 weeks, which typically I don't think doctors will see you until you're 7 weeks. So when we went at 5 weeks, my doctor was like, I don't see anything. And also your gestational sac is rippled, which is a sign for miscarriage.
But she also emphasized how early
Super
it was.
early.
She's like,
yeah.
I don't want to scare you at all. This is so early. We can't see anything. So like she didn't scare us. Some doctors will do that. Some doctors will like, oh, this is possible.
But then Nick left for special forces and I was alone. Like I was just like waiting for something terrible to happen.
Yeah, that was kind of nerve wracking. And the whole time I was filming, I was like hoping I wasn't going to get a call. Some of the people on the show who have kids and families, they were able to arrange like talking to their kids and things like that. On the other hand, I was like hoping Natalie wouldn't call because it was like, call if there's a problem. That part was nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Like hoping someone wouldn't come up to me and be like, hey, Natalie's on the phone. And there was a part of the show, right, that I can't give away. I had a chance in a way to speak to Natalie. And at first I was a little worried, but then it ended up being like a really cool thing. And then when I got back from Special Forces, the first thing I opened my phone to was the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Which was very
at 7
cool.
weeks, I went back
Aw.
and she saw the baby. There was a heartbeat. She was like, your sac is perfectly formed. Everything's perfect.
Seeing the heartbeat was very cool. That was surreal.
And congrats on the sac. That's so awesome.
And the
That
sac's
is-
looking
Yeah,
great.
It's not
Nice.
rippled anymore.
No ripple.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Okay.
smooth out.
A good rippleless
it's
sac.
just a
Yes.
smooth,
Yeah, smooth
Great.
sac.
smooth
Everything's
sac.
love to hear
smooth.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
It's a really smooth sac.
Yeah.
It's too bad that you haven't been feeling well. That sucks. But something that like Amy said in this documentary that was really sweet is she was like, pregnancy is obviously difficult. Mine was like especially difficult. And I was worried that when the baby came, I would resent him for how much hell he put me through. And the second he was born, I was just like so grateful. And I was like, this is such a gift that I had to work so hard for. And I just like cannot feel more gratitude towards this little tiny baby. Like, I'm just so grateful that he's here despite
maybe you
what
won't hate our
happened.
baby.
I was just planning on grounding them.
From day one.
Day
Just
one.
when they know what a grounding means and that like staying in your room isn't fun, then you're grounded. For
At some
however long
point,
you
they'll be
made
like
me
4
feel
years
sick.
old and sit them down and be like, all right, here's the thing. You're grounded.
Nick has been so lovely. He obviously works nonstop, but then he also comes home and he cooks and then he cleans and he grocery shops and he also is like holding my hair back while I'm puking and like blowing cold air on
Amazing.
my neck and like scratching my back. Like he's been very top tier.
I enjoy
Yeah.
taking care of the people I love.
It's such a process we hear about, like pregnancy, like, you know, even people like when you're younger, you just hear like 9 months and all this like very like you hear about the process and the subjective stuff, but then like you have to kind of go through the human element, the emotional element. Like you have to live through it. It's not just like A, B, C, and D.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was weird knowing we were pregnant for the first few weeks and not like feeling like anything changed because it was like it felt like the biggest moment of our lives. And
Well,
certainly,
they say that like women, as soon as they see 2 lines on a pregnancy test, they like feel pregnant. They're like, oh my gosh, like this baby. And then it takes the father like until they see the baby in real life.
yeah, but it was weird because I wanted to feel pregnant right away, so to speak, and it was like I didn't. So seeing the heartbeat was really cool. But yeah, it's been incredible.
I feel like Nick might be the type of person to get sympathy cramps when you're giving birth.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to
really
be?
wanted to feel pregnant.
We'll just have to get him those like
Simulators.
yeah.
Yeah, like they did on The
not
Bachelor
literally,
that
but just
season.
like knowing that we are having a kid. You know.
I'm kidding. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting.
Are you guys gonna find out the gender? Are you gonna be surprised? We were talking about nursery design with Bobby and like what gender colors mean, or if you do neutral.
We already know the gender.
Oh,
We do.
We're not
We
revealing that yet. We have told some friends, but I've told some friends the wrong gender just to like. Well, sometimes you have to weed out the moles, you know.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I'll just like, you got to know who you can trust and who you don't trust, and like, you know, I'll apologize in the future. But I was just, you know,
I'm just excited to tell our baby that this is what Nick used the gender for.
to weed out.
It's
Yeah.
also
I like
Big
that.
Because
ones.
You're
yeah,
gonna
because you never
ruin
know.
those
All of a sudden it gets
friendships.
around and be like, oh, I heard you're having a, and I'm like,
Then you know who
then
it
you
came
know who
from.
it came from.
But if
Yeah.
you've told multiple people the wrong gender, how are you gonna know who said it?
Well, there's a couple people. The people I told the wrong name to, they're, you know, I wonder if they have a big mouth.
But then what are they gonna say to
Yeah,
you
you
when
should
you
be
post
telling-
what it actually is?
Oh, we were joking.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be like, you know.
The doctor read it wrong.
No,
Yeah.
the
Mistakes
doctor
happen.
saw a little something.
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
actually-
So if you know, maybe you don't know.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Are we some of those
Scary.
people?
Yeah, I'm a little worried that we're
Well,
Well,
I guess
we are
we'll
not.
find
we
out.
guess we'll find out.
Yes, we'll find out.
That's how you make sure the people you
Guess I
who know.
might redact my offer to watch the kid at the wedding. So
Well, this depends.
Are you a mole?
Are you a mole?
We found out at was that 10 weeks, I think,
We did
whenever
the
we
blood
did
test.
the genetic test. And I was so sick. I needed something that like got me to the next, you know, because I was just hating the world. At
Yeah,
that
there was a
moment.
couple weeks in there where it was a lot of emotional. You know, I was trying to bring the mood up.
I don't know if it's a thing. I definitely asked my therapist about it, but I was like, is first trimester depression a thing? Because obviously like, there's postpartum depression. But, like first trimester, you're so sick. You can like barely get out of bed. For some people have it amazing, but you can barely get out of bed. You can't eat much. You're just sad. Like, I cried all the time. I'm like, how are people not depressed? How is
Yeah.
this not a thing?
what did she say?
And she just basically was like, well, I mean, like, yeah, how could you not be depressed when all of those things are happening in your life?
And then when we first found out, you know, we were hearing how like it's very genetic, especially from the mom. So we called Natalie's mom. She's like, I didn't get sick with any of my kids. And we were like, amazing. And then like 2 days later, not Natalie. But yeah. Anyway, so we found out the gender.
I'm going to start designing the nursery soon.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff. it is cool seeing the ultrasound and they move around.
Yeah.
Because like our baby looks like a bit of an alien right now, but
Yeah.
also it has a head.
That's good.
It's got arms,
Finger.
got legs.
So our ultrasound photo that we posted along with our announcement was obviously like full profile. It was the best ultrasound photo we had gotten. And we zoomed in to like crop out the personal information that is on the screen. And I saw a couple comments saying that this was like a Google stock image. And I was like, our baby is so perfect that you think it's from Google.
Genius.
Honestly, what a great compliment.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, thank you.
Are you going to post your kid on the internet?
You know,
Are
I
you
don't
going to like
know.
put an emoji over their head?
I don't think I'm gonna do the emoji over
Definitely
the head.
no emoji.
I feel like that's a bit like
I like understand where people are coming from because it's like then they know what your child looks like. And I definitely have like intruder syndrome. I always think someone's trying to break in. I always think like we are getting robbed and kidnapped.
I feel like we might go out of our way to like not give close-ups or like, you know, like the back of the baby kind of thing.
Like a Kylie Jenner approach.
How
Like
does she
see
do
their
it?
little
Yeah.
feet, see the back of the
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Now she's showing Air's face, but when he was little,
Yeah,
it was very vague.
I don't really know yet, but it is kind of fun. We're already kind of talking about like parenting styles and like how we want to raise our kid and like, you know, stuff like that has been fun. We find ourselves like we just went to Hawaii for a wedding. And so, especially me, like I'm paying way more attention to like dads and parents, and when we travel, like how people are interacting with their kids, and you know things that we want to do. Or when I watch movies now, like scenes with parents, I pay way more attention to, and like try to pick up things. I'm like, oh, I like how they did that, or I like how like that's a really good lesson, or oh, you know, there's been a lot of like our kids will never do that, or we'll never allow our kids to do that, or
Like what?
Be annoying.
yeah,
For sure.
Don't baby talk
Yeah.
them. Get those pacifiers out by year 1, or else they get too dependent on them.
We spend a lot of time talking about how we want our children to treat other people.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you have kids like boundaries and kids like rules, or else they're going to keep pushing, trying to find one. So it's the parents who just like let them get away with anything, where I'm like, yeah, no wonder. They need to feel that kind of structure. They need to be told no.
Yeah. Nick loves the word no, so I'm sure he
Love
will
the word
have
no.
so much fun.
I think as early as they understand like the idea of working towards something and wanting something, you know, I think we have very privileged lives. I think we're very lucky, you know, hopefully that continues. And I just don't want to have a spoiled kid,
I get that. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to give my kid the things I can. And obviously I want to spoil them with love and things like that. But I appreciate the work ethic I have that I got from my parents. And yeah, is at an early age, chores and allowances and things like that. But like the idea of if you want something, you have to work towards it. And like I was always raised, like my parents gave me the things I needed. You know, it's like, we're going to take care of you. We'll put clothes on your back. You know, we'll sign you up for the classes and things like that. But when it came to, you know, wanting fancier shoes or video games or baseball cards and things like that, other than like birthdays and holidays, I had to buy those things on my own through the money that I would earn. And I want them to value the things they want to work towards. I want them to value their stuff. Then you start making different choices once you work towards something. A lot of times when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, I want this, you know? And my parents would be like, well, if you want it, you have to work towards it. And then I would save up the money. And then once I had the money, I'd be like, well, do I really want this, you know, or do I want something else? Do I want to save it, you know, because I put that work into it. And yeah, I want my kid to have that same mentality. I'm just excited to be a dad, you know. I think at this point, I've always said I wanted to be a dad, and I was always like, you know, if I'm ever lucky enough to be a dad. So the fact that I'm finally really close, you know, it's very exciting and surreal and amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I was put on this earth to be a mother. And so I just can't believe that my time is here.
I can't wait. I'm excited. We kind of joked about like a lot of things. It's like this would be our last time, just us.
Oh my God, I saw not too long ago because I saw a TikTok that was like this pregnant woman, and she was like so excited for this new chapter, but like mourning the loss of it being like just me and him. And I started sobbing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be us.
It's weird to think like this time next year we'll be like flying with a baby, or like when we go to the lake house we'll have a child. It's weird to think about knowing that the next time we do X, Y, or Z, assuming that it might be like next year or something like that. You know, when we talk about next year, it's weird to think that it won't be just Natalie and I, because it's been Natalie and I, for 3 years now.
Might
Yeah.
change, but soon enough, that little baby will be sitting right here. Y'all be interviewing.
Tiny
That
little
little baby.
headphones.
Tiny little headphones.
That'd be great.
That'll be great.
Did you guys see that Rachel still in Arizona? I sent you that TikTok in our group chat. She was at, I think it was like a massage envy
Vanderpump
type
Rachel.
of, yes, Raquel.
Formerly known as Raquel.
Rachel/Raquel Levis
Yes.
was videoed in Arizona checking out from an appointment. Looked like a massage place or something like that, but
I saw she asked for some face wash.
yeah, she wanted that. She wanted that
I
wash
say
added
good
to her
for
tab.
her. You know what?
For
Good-
not filming.
So she's not going to be on Vanderpump.
Doesn't appear so. And it seems like a lot of the cast have mentioned that they think it's pretty much
confident that she will
confident.
not return.
And in your opinion, do you think that's more because she wasn't given the paycheck that she would have liked,
Mm.
or because she is taking the mature step to remove herself from the situation?
maybe both. You always need to ask, hey, what are you willing to pay me? I mean, everyone has a price. And if they were willing to offer her some serious money, I mean, how could you criticize her for taking it? I don't know what that amount is to her, but, if they were truly going to, let's say, offer her some life-changing money, you kind of have to take it. But so, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was a combination of her seeing of like, hey, can I get X, Y, or Z? That's a very complicated decision for the show. Do they seemingly reward Raquel/Rachel for this whole thing? And what does that look like? How would that affect the rest of the cast? Would that upset them? And then precedent matters when it comes to this type of stuff in negotiations. So, I mean, if they're going to pay that to Raquel, what do you think Ariana's going to do? You think Ariana shows
True.
up if she finds out that Raquel is making twice as much as her? And so there was probably a lot of back and forth there. Or just like, even if it was $1 more, like, could the show work if Raquel was the highest paid? Because
Yeah.
I'm assuming Lala and Ariana would take exception to that
Yes.
truth. At the same time, I could see her being offered quite a bit of money and offered a raise, and her deciding that it's still not the best situation for her. And I give her credit. I mean, she seems like she's actually trying to move on with her life, and hopefully she is.
I hate that for the show because I would love to see her on the show, but love that for her personally.
Well, Tom's already out with another woman, so
Do we know if it's his girlfriend though?
no, we do not. But he
I
was
saw
out with
something
a
that said
woman.
he confirmed
That it was his girlfriend.
that he was in a gym in Texas and someone was like next to him on a treadmill being like, oh,
Was that was a while ago, Texas, because he's known that girl since before he went and filmed Special Forces, right?
but he did not bring a photo of her.
He did
So
not bring a photo of her
That's what doesn't add up either.
dating. But, I don't know.
Yeah, but this new gal pal is what people are talking. Tii, potential musician. But I guess they were introduced through Billy Lee. That's
wait,
how they ended up.
who? No, the girl is, I thought
An
her name was
aspiring
Carly
musician.
Holt.
That was back in May.
Oh, well, that's
Carly
what I saw
was-
recently.
Yeah, this is T. Unless it's
TII.
Ty. I guess it could be Ty. T.
TII sounds like Ty.
Anyway, so this is his new girlfriend,
A new gal pal.
Gal Pal.
The mystery woman identified
Is that the one that he was seen singing on the street when he was singing Adele?
singing on the street. I saw them walking on the street with the paparazzi.
He was stopped by TMZ and they were like, oh, if you had a song with Adele, what would it be? And he started singing that song. And
Oh,
What was the song?
it was like some 80s song. I don't know. He like wanted to rendition some song with Adele. But the woman that was walking with him seemed very cringed out and kind of like walked away. I wonder if that was her.
Can I ask a very real question?
Please.
Please.
Do you think Rachel not being on the show, in Tom's eyes, makes her less appealing to date?
Ooh.
Uh,
You know him best, Nick. What do you think?
I don't know. No, But here's, like I said, I told you, like he brought a photo of her and came across in that bubble as someone who cared about Raquel, and the person who showed me the picture, I would have said no to.
Totally, that makes sense.
but I don't know Tom that well, and so yeah, I would usually say no, because in my experience of being like wouldn't want someone necessarily that I work with constantly, certainly on a TV show, and I wouldn't want always my relationships to be portrayed and focused on TV. But Vanderpump, so much of the show is it's just couple swapping. Maybe Tom is just used to that, and knowing that it was off limits. I don't know. Maybe possible.
I did think it was interesting. I saw Ariana and Katie have been doing a lot of TikToks with there's something about her shop, and I think they did a tasting with a bunch of Vanderpump people. And I thought it was interesting that Tom Schwartz was there and filming TikToks with them. And I was like, feels like Katie and Tom have somewhat figured out a new
But then
normal.
Ariana was asked about it, and she was like, "I'm not friends with Tom Schwartz."
He was at the tasting.
Sure, but like,
We'll
yeah.
have to watch that episode and see what
But I'll be crazy.
happens.
Like, now, how much are they going to talk about Rachel? And can you imagine so much of the season could be talking about Rachel and she won't even be there? And how do they avoid talking about it?
I mean, look at Selling Sunset. Everyone still talked about Christine after she left.
Yeah, I would suspect the first episode or two will be a very like heavy talking about Rachel and the drama, and then maybe, hopefully, they find a different storyline. The fact that Rachel isn't going to be on it, like, creates a huge challenge, I think, for season 11 Vanderpump, because they can't sit there and have the whole season talking about someone who's not there. And I think if Rachel was there, that would be a very low-hanging organic storyline that they could lean on. They're always want to come up with more, but now they're going to, I'm assuming, have to try to move on it fairly early. And like, I wonder what it's going to be. And it usually is the case when it comes to reality TV. It's like usually when one villain leaves, and this is like very common on The Bachelor, everyone gets excited and they're like, no more drama. And then like the next day, there's a new villain, so they always are going to need a storyline. They're always going to need heroes and villains. And so the big question is like, who's it going to be? And I don't think the producers have any loyalty to really anyone. And it will be interesting to see, like, now that Rachel, I mean, Tom's still there, I guess Tom could be still your villain, so to speak, but how long can they lean on that? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that's going to get sorted out at the beginning of the season because they were all in Tahoe. You can't really like make it this looming who's going to speak to Tom. Is Tom going to be back in the group when they were all on that trip together?
Yeah, they're
Shortly
hanging
into
out.
filming.
Like I just saw a photo of the whole cast and everyone was in the photo. Ariana was in back. Tom was, knelt down smiling. Like I've seen photos of James and Tom hanging out. Like they're clearly civil at a minimum, and they're spending time together. So they're not like in it's not two different shows. But isn't there a spinoff now? Didn't they announce a spinoff with Kristen,
Jax and Brittany.
Now that we're recapping Vanderpump from season 1, and now that I'm getting more into it, is horrific as what Tom Sandoval did. I'm not taking a Howie Mandel approach to not understanding what was so wrong about what Tom did, but I find it laughable that Jax has been able to go out there and talk about it from a position of righteousness and criticize in any way Tom Sandoval for his behavior and act like that was so long ago for him. Like, he's cheated on everyone he's been with, including his now wife. Season 1 was him impregnating a sex worker, gaslighting his entire friend group. He's a very convincing liar. One of the most convincing liars I have ever witnessed. What Tom did was terrible, but like Jax had, that's all he's ever done is cheat on people. He made some comment about how he would never like work at in the restaurant or bar industry again when it came to his relationships or something like that. But apparently this new show is going to be focused around.
I think they're both working.
Yeah,
there.
well, that's what Jack said. He's like, well, I said that.
My relationship is excluded from that.
Well, yeah, she'll be working there. And I'm like, nothing says disaster like trying to justify a boundary you're not going to follow. There is zero chance, I think, that now that Jax is back on reality TV, I think there's zero chance he won't fuck up. I think it's just in his nature. And I also think it is laughable that anyone listened to Jax criticize Tom about his behavior and came from a place of judgment, considering, it's just shocking that anyone could want to associate themselves. How can you give Tom Sandoval all this shit and act like Jax has learned? I just, the more I watch Vanderpump from season 1 or 2, the more I'm just like, this is a horrible person.
Well, I'm sure in 10 years, 9 years, everyone will.
Yeah, but that was when it started. Like he's cheated on every girlfriend I think he's ever had, including his current partner.
Yeah, it's like from the inception, he was having these behaviors.
The more I watch Vanderpump, the more I'm just like, this is,
Tom and Jax are 2 peas in a pod.
I don't think they get along. Anyway.
It's a good plug if you want to listen to our recaps for watching Vanderpump from season 1. Viall Files Plus, baby.
Kevin Costner took his daughter to the Eras tour.
That he did.
Was there
Channing
pictures?
Tatum was also there. He had a shirt that said, "It's me. Hi, I'm the daddy. It's me." He had a little heart around his eye. I love seeing dads and like guys. Just
I hope I'm a hot dad.
I'm sure you will be.
Prove it by taking your kid to the Eras tour.
Yeah. Hello.
When was the last time she went on
No.
tour before this?
5 years
Taylor?
ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
2018 with
Reputation.
Reputation. Loverfest was supposed to be in
So
2020.
I could have a 5-year-old next time Taylor.
Well,
tours.
it's because of the pandemic.
Well,
she doesn't usually go 5
She's
years.
still going to be filming next year, late next year.
I don't think I'm going to take a baby to a Taylor Swift concert.
Will you say you want to be a hot dad?
Yes. Do you even really mean that?
Okay, maybe not. That would look really bad that I'm only there and then I'm being one of those parents, you see at a concert and it's like 1 a.m. and the kid, they have the stroller. I won't be doing
But
that.
also, they might not like Taylor Swift.
That's not possible.
They might not. They might not be a fan.
Nick's like not in this household.
Can you run blood work on that? Can you figure it out?
Yeah, genetic test on that.
All right, well, it's time, I think, to get to Bobby.
Also, just as a reminder, Viall Files Plus for Vanderpump recaps, but also Viall Files Plus for all of the replays of Better Date Than Never, Update Plus, Pop Off, Pop Extra, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
We don't know.
And we'll also have another Better Date tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the AMP app.
Be sure to check that out. It's about time to talk about interior design. I talk with Bobby about designing a baby room and a lake house, and designing on a budget. Colors. It was a lot of fun talking with Bobby.
He's a very insightful man.
I learned a
Some
lot.
of his quotes, I was like, I wrote them down for myself. I was like, you are wise.
Oh, I mean, it's such a fun texting office hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mother-daughter duo.
Mother going out and dating. Kind of reminded me of your mom.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to work on this. Trying to do this thing with Natalie's mom.
He's trying to set her up on a.
I'm trying to do a thing.
She's not really in love with the idea, I don't think.
You
But
don't think
maybe
so?
she'll turn.
It's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll stay tuned.
All right. Well, we're having a baby. Very exciting. I love you.
Period. Slay. Love you.
All right. Bobby Berk, everybody. Fall is right around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date, then lay back and enjoy the last days of summer knowing your dinner is covered. Regardless of the season, I know so many of you listening to this show are busy people. You're on the go. You have a lot of things to do. You don't have time to waste in parking lots and grocery stores, shopping, not to mention just thinking about what you're going to make, where you're going to eat. And then obviously we know that eating out, while fun, isn't always the healthiest of options, but HelloFresh is here to solve all those problems. No more grocery stores, no more trying to think about what am I eating today. HelloFresh has so many great selections, so many choices, so many great meals that are all easy to make. Many of them take about 15 minutes to make. Easy cleanup. The directions are simple and easy to follow. It's made with incredible, healthy, and fresh ingredients. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and less expensive than grocery shopping, too. Just choose your recipes and receive fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so you can get cooking quick. If you've been enjoying every plate, well, HelloFresh owns them. So enjoy. Get all the HelloFresh that you can possibly handle. Go to HelloFresh.com/50 VIALL and use code 50Viall for 50% off plus free shipping. That's right. Go to HelloFresh.com/50 VIALL and use code 50 VIALL for 50% off plus free shipping. Drizzly is here to help you plan parties. That's right. They take the grunt work out of all the busy planning that goes into planning a party, like, well, going and buying all the spirits, wine, and beer that you might need.
It's also birthday season. It's my birthday. It's Genevieve's birthday. It's Natalie Joy's birthday. We got a lot of parties that we're trying to stock. I myself have become a big Aperol Spritz girl. So I was like, where can I find all the Aperol my heart desires? Oh, yes, Drizzly.
Drizzly, well, they have Campari, Wild Turkey, 101, Sky. So many more. Drizzly has such a variety of beer, wine, spirits with delivery to your step when you want it and need it. Drizzly is the go-to app for drink delivery, whether it's a party planning and maybe it's just a late night where you wanted a glass of wine but you ran out and you don't feel like going out to inclement weather. Well, Drizzly is there to go in, select a wine that you might need. Maybe try something new because they have such a great variety. Maybe you go to use Drizzly to send some spirits to a party that you just can't make. But the point is, it's like easy and fun and convenient. And they just have such a variety. So check out Drizzly. Again, the #1 and most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your step when you need it. Drizzly is the go-to app for drink delivery. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com, drizzly.com. Bobby, welcome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
How are you? How is your heart? We love to ask all our
How's
questions.
my heart?
We go
My heart's
heavy
good.
right off the bat.
I see that.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I always hate it when people ask me, are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you? Yeah.
I was until you asked me.
You're like, now that you got me thinking,
Yeah.
actually, no, it's
No.
not. It's, it's not fine.
How are you, though?
I'm okay. I'm
Great.
okay.
I'm excited to talk with you.
Me too.
You are very well known for your expertise in interior design. You have a book coming out.
I do.
When you want to share the name of your book?
Yeah, my book is called Right at Home, How Good Design is Good for the Mind, and it's all about the intersection of mental health and design.
I love that.
Yeah.
I had two very kind of monumental things happen in my life recently. One, I bought my mom a lake house, which was my grandfather's lake
Nice.
house. It was like he built it back in the day. We just moved in. We're designing things. I also, I'm going to be a dad. So
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Congrats.
We announced that yesterday. And so we'll be designing a baby room.
Very cool.
I was just wondering if maybe we can kind of I could just use you during this time to talk about maybe just some tips and tricks of how to
Sure.
design my new house and my new baby's
Yeah,
room.
yeah,
And then
of
we'll talk.
course.
But I am curious, you talked about the intersection of mental health and design. I know I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but is it feng shui?
Feng Shui?
Feng shui.
Feng shui.
Okay. So, but isn't that kind of the same premise in a sense?
bit,
But
yeah.
where does that intersection happen? Because obviously the vibe of a place, the feel can play such an impact
Yeah.
on your mental health. I remember when I was filming The Bachelor, once it was middle of the season, we were in Ireland and there was these really tiny rooms and these bright red walls, and I thought I was going to go insane. It just kind of spoke to you can really
Yeah.
drive yourself crazy or you can feel calm, really depending on the vibe of a place, obviously a spa and things like that. So very excited to talk with you, as I'm sure many of the people listening to kind of get some tips and tricks from the expert himself.
It's funny you should bring up the red. There's a story I talk about in the book. It's one of the first moments when I was growing up that I kind of started to think about design and the way it makes you feel. When I was 5 or 6, my mom had decorated my room in all red, red curtains, red bedspread, red rug, red pillows. And
What was going on in her life?
she just, boys red fire trucks. I'm
Yeah,
going to
okay.
decorate my little boy's room red. But I was like, whoa, this does not make me feel good. I didn't know what the word anxiety was then, but I'm like, this makes me feel anxious.
Yeah.
This is not calming. So I saved up all my little $20 checks from my birthday one year and I went out and I bought blue bedding and blue curtains. And I'm just I know blue just makes me feel better. And I didn't know why. I didn't know how to articulate it, but that's some of the things we talk about in the book is color theory and light and plants and, figuring out what your style is, because a lot of times people think that, oh, I can't have a nice home unless I have the money. I can't have a nice home because I don't have taste. I don't know what my design aesthetic is. And one of the things we talk about is let's normalize not asking people what their design aesthetic is. It's more what makes you happy.
What is a design aesthetic?
They're, mid-century modern or farmhouse,
Okay.
things like that. People think
Yeah,
that they need to be put in a box.
Renaissance, neoclassical.
It's funny because one of the very first episodes, actually the first episode we filmed a Queer Eye, I asked Tom, what's your design aesthetic? And I think he said like French industrial. And I was like, do you know what that is? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, why'd you say that? He's like, I saw it in a magazine once. And so I'm like, I learned right then and there. I'm like, it's all about figuring out the things that make you happy when it comes to design. And, think about the things that aren't related to design. What's your favorite TV show? We had a hero once on Queer Eye. I was like, what's your favorite TV show? He's like, Mad Men. I'm like, all right, well, Mad Men is very mid-century, very 50s. And I'm
Very
like,
cool
what's your
design.
dream vacation? And he's like, Cuba. And I'm like, well, also very much stuck in the 50s, very mid-century. So I did his house with mid-century modern furniture and did this cool photographed mural of Havana. And he walks in, he's like, oh my God, this is me. This feels like me. How did you get inside my head? And I'm like, I just asked you about the things that you loved. That's what you should put in your home. You shouldn't worry about the trends that are out there. You shouldn't worry about what a designer tells you to do. You need to fill your home with the things that make you happy, because your home is like your phone charger. It should be fully charging you at night. And if you don't get fully charged at night by the things that are in your home and you aren't fully zen and relaxed, you're not going to make it through the next day, just like your phone won't make it through the next day if it's not fully charged.
Interesting. So how does one, because like when you say that, not being the person with taste or design ability, I'm hearing just buy a bunch of stuff I like and throw it in my house. How do you go from being like, oh, I watch Mad Men, I like the Cuban aesthetic or whatever, to go buying a bunch of like knickknacks at like
Knickknacks.
home what is it, Home Goods or something. But like, how would someone who doesn't have taste, or maybe they think they have taste, how do you take that concept and apply it to design?
Well, taste is relative, so again, it goes back to the things that make you happy. There might be a piece of art that you look at and you're like, this just makes me happy. I might look at it and think it's the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. Can I say
But
that?
you would be right. Yeah, you can swear. Yeah, fuck, shit, ball. It's totally fine.
but if it makes you happy, it's your home. And so I tell people, I'm like, think about what your favorite clothes are. If your favorite article of clothing is like this cool, vintage leather jacket, you're probably going to like some leather accents in your house. If it's your favorite is you love chunky sweaters and heavy knit things, like you're probably going to like some chunky knit pillows or throws. If your favorite article of clothing is this worn out, like plaid flannel shirt, you'll probably like some accents of that in your home. So think about those and then build from that.
Interesting. Have you designed any baby rooms?
No, actually.
Because I kind of like, depending on the gender, like, do you just go all pink or all blue, or do you just, like what's...
Well,
this won't even be my call. This will obviously be Natalie's call. But
so, I mean, pink and blue, those are colors that were decided by some old white guy in a boardroom, probably back in the 40s or 50s, of how can we sell more toys? Oh, hey, let's tell everybody that certain colors are only for certain genders. And so that way, if they have a boy and a girl, they can't give the boy pink toys, of course. They got to buy him blue or red. So I wouldn't, to me, this is my opinion, I wouldn't decorate a baby's room based on the color of gender, because I think colors having gender labels, there's just something to sell more product.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want a pink or a blue baby room.
Yeah. Like,
what's your favorite color?
I think yellow is great for a baby's room. I think yellow is very happy. Yellow mimics sunshine, which our species loves. It's brightness.
But like what shade of yellow? You say yellow, I'm thinking yellow. Or would you go like an eggshell?
There's a lot of great
white?
yellows, but I think for a baby's room, more of maybe a bit of a pastel.
What color would you call the couches?
I would call this maybe an ecru.
Let's point to different things in the room and you say what color it is.
I'm just like the Home Depot color app. You just point me at things.
But are there colors? Just talking about mental health and vibe, like what's pro mental health color, and then what's maybe like, unless you have a unique taste, maybe this could raise some.
Blues are very soothing. Yellows are very soothing. They're very relaxing. It sounds weird, but if you look at the colors of like halls in like mental health institutions, they're often yellows, greens, blues, because those are relaxing, soothing colors. They don't use a lot of bright primary colors because those are not relaxing colors. So greens, blues, yellows, colors from nature often will be the colors that we most connect to.
What are some of the red flags colors? Red,
yeah,
orange.
red. Yeah, red, orange, burgundy, kind of anything with a red hue. It's not going to be really relaxing.
Although I don't mind a burgundy-ish. I had an accent wall once in an apartment that was like a burnt red, brownish, and I quite liked it.
You know, I think in small doses, anything is fine. And it goes back to, like I said, if you like it, if it makes you feel good. I mean, if fire engine red, you walk in and you're like, yeah, I just really like this, then that's your color.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you have issues with focus or anxiety, like, you know, the book talks about the colors that will help with that more.
Focus.
Those are
there are colors that help with focus.
Because yellow it's the color of the sun. It's supposed to wake you up. And so your mind automatically, it helps you focus more.
Well, what if I want my baby to sleep? Black.
All black.
All black.
All black.
Don't put them in a yellow room
with a side of rum.
Oh man! So I was kind of fascinated. I have here that you worked at Restoration Hardware.
I did.
And Bed Bath & Beyond.
I did. I actually got fired from Restoration Hardware the day that the original Queer Eye was filming in the store.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, big mistake. Huge.
They were filming in the store.
Yeah. I was.
You were working there.
Yeah, I was like.
And this was the OG.
This was the OG. Yeah, it was Tom Felicia in there filming. Yeah,
wow.
This would have been in 2004.
What'd you do for Restoration Hardware?
I was a design manager. So I was in charge of merchandising, making sure the store looked good. And the night before, I was in the store until 1:00 in the morning, making sure the store was perfect for filming. And me and my team forgot to clock out. And so the next day when I went in, you know, they were already filming. And I went down to clock in and I saw that the GM just assumed we left at 8 p.m. like we were supposed to and clocked us all out at 8 p.m. And so I was like, well, that's not right. We all left at 1. So I went in and I fixed everyone's time for them, including mine. And fixing your own time was very much against the rules. And there was another manager who like wanted my job and she ratted me out. Yeah. We had just let somebody else go for dishonestly changing their time. And so it was kind of a thing right then.
Oh.
And so she had to let me go, our GM. But like when I got cast on Queer Eye, like her and I have stayed in contact for years. Like it wasn't like I fired you, you're an asshole. It was I fire you over a technicality. But she reached out and she's like, aren't you glad I fired you? And I'm like, yes, because I might still be there.
Do you think that might have been true, that you could have still been there?
Maybe, yeah.
How did you fall into this whole thing that you're doing now? This whole experience of being the, you know, public figure and expert in design and the lovable, you know, person from Queer Eye.
I mean, I really did, like you said, kind of fall into it. You know, I left high school at 15. I left home at 15. So I have no formal education in design. I have no formal education in anything. And I went from working in restaurants and retail and I started retail management was what my experience was in.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to start getting some jobs at some furniture retail. And I liked it. I actually enjoyed that. So that was the Bombay Company, Great Indoors, and then Restoration Hardware. And then after that, I went to Bed Bath Beyond. Horrible.
Aren't they bankrupt now?
They are, but now Overstock.com just bought their intellectual property and rebranded as Bed Bath Beyond. So Bed Bath Beyond is back, baby.
They're back.
They're back.
And then Overstock is not.
Overstock is, that brand, they've gotten rid of it, and it's now, they are the new Bed Bath Beyond.
Interesting choice.
Yes.
So Bed Bath & Beyond went bankrupt, but Overstock, successful, bought Bed Bath & Beyond and said, we hate our name. And we want to go.
I get it, because I think some people that aren't familiar with Overstock might just think of it as like a closeout, because I mean, that's originally what they were. Like they bought closeout merchandise and because Overstock stuff. But they've morphed into.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like
different.
Overstock.com used to be a place where you'd go and like get a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and you still can. It's like an ad for Overstock.
I feel like you get less of a deal now. Now I feel like you're just shopping.
I mean, I feel like that's just the whole world at this point.
Yeah.
You get less of a deal than you used to.
Wow, so it really is just, it doesn't
you
exist
type in
anymore.
Overstock, it just goes to Bed Bath
Yeah,
Beyond.
Bed Bath Beyond. But they don't have any physical stores.
They're back, baby.
Yeah.
And that's why Bed Bath & Beyond shut down.
Because of their stores.
I think they shut down because of just horrible mismanagement.
Well, they were firing great employees like Bobby.
You're right.
Just,
I'll
they,
sell my role.
I've never worked for a company that treated their people worse. And I think they deserve to go bankrupt.
Period.
Yeah. I used to literally cry walking to work.
Really? Well, is that the worst job you ever had? Because you
No,
also
no, I used to work the graveyard shift at a gas station called Get and Go. Yeah, so no,
The
that was
graveyard
that
shift.
one.
love Get and Go.
You love Get and Go?
Or
Where are
like-
you from?
Like Come
Minnesota.
and Go is also
yeah,
one of
they rebranded as Come and Go.
and it's like
K-U-M and Go.
I love Come and Goes.
And Get and
Who
and Get
are
and Go.
these
Get and Go
people?
was spelled G-I-T.
Come and Go?
Literally,
And they
come,
rebranded as
not
Come and Go. Not
Come and
C-O-M, K-U-M. They're like, oh, we don't want people to hear Come and Go, so we'll write it.
It's a silent K.
K-U, yeah, and Go. Yeah, I mean, they're Midwest.
Works for
Come
me.
and go. Yeah, maybe the Midwest people are just not thinking that way. They're too wholesome.
No, we
I
are.
Yeah.
You can't say it without thinking it.
Just come and go.
Yeah, exactly.
But like
Just-
the drive from Minnesota to Iowa, many a come and go.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every fuckboy's dream. Just
yeah,
come and
they-
go.
They're at a lot of
Yeah.
rest. They're at a lot of rest stops.
And you work the graveyard shift.
I did. So it was.
I
I had a lot of friends who actually would literally come in at night, no pun intended, and just
Hang.
sit there in the corner and hang because they were always afraid I was going to get robbed and shot. And yeah,
Oh wow. What was the
Yeah.
worst job you guys ever had, other than this one?
they're like this
Yeah.
one.
The one that made me lose hair was like an event planner in Chicago during the pandemic. That
Oh,
was too stressful.
But how were their events during the pandemic?
Boats.
Uh,
That was the workaround.
Boats.
Yeah. You could have like 10 people on a boat. But
That's
like,
a great question, Bobby. How were their
Yeah.
events during
because
the
it was like
pandemic?
outside.
But like the people I worked for would just like lie. They said we had more boats than we did. Our boats were like leaking into Lake Michigan. Like it was like shady
What
shit.
were they leaking?
Oil, gas.
People. Hey, we lost one.
Wow, it's like that. Remember that Instagram gays against COVID or something, or
No.
gays over COVID. There was an Instagram that somebody created just to call gays out for like not following protocol, like going to bars. And there's this big gay festival in Puerto Vallarta every year, and all the gays still went, and they were all on a party boat, and the party boat sank, and they were like, "See, it's karma. You went down there." Like you see all these gays jumping off this boat, it's sinking. Yeah, it was an
There were a
Instagram.
lot of
Are they
people who
okay?
did that. They're also
Are the gays okay?
I mean, the gays are okay. Yeah,
They
yeah,
all survived?
We're survivors, as
A sinking
as
boat
they
can't
say
get us.
on what's her name? These gays, they're survivors.
Oh, yeah.
they really
from
know
White
how to
Lotus.
do stuff.
Is that a quote?
Well, God, I love her.
Oh,
I
These
can't
These
think of
gays,
her
they're
name.
trying to kill
Wait,
me.
from
She
White
doesn't
Lotus.
say they're survivors. They say Jennifer Coolidge. They
Jennifer
say
Coolidge.
they're trying to kill her.
No, but there's one point she's like, these gays.
when she's
You
pro.
you do
pro
a good
gays.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Coolidge.
they're survivors, you know. And so for some reason, they always love me.
And then they try to kill her.
Yeah, these gays, they're high class gays.
So
Oh, yeah,
we were
yeah.
talking earlier before about people that we've had like fangirl moments over.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer is one of the few that I've like fangirled.
Oh, you've
over.
met Jennifer.
Yeah. It was
How
at
was that?
the evening before party before the Emmys. And like I saw her from afar and kind of having a meltdown. And then she looked at me and was a fan of mine too. And she was like, I love you. I'm like, I love you. And like
Oh,
we had a whole moment. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Is that one of the cooler kind of, being on your show? You must have had many celebrities come up to you and say they love your work, which I'm sure at some point was surreal. Maybe you're used to it now, but
In the beginning, yeah, it was.
what was the is other than Jennifer? Has there been some other pretty cool ones?
Tina Fey and Maya Rudolph, and like
Mm.
Amy Poehler.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, they're just amazing. So yeah, we were walking. It was during like 2018 Emmys or something, and we were downstairs. We had just presented. We're walking through this hall, and we hear, "Wait, come back!" And we look back, and it's Tina Fey and Maya Rudolph. And we're just,
That's great. What are things that as a design pet peeves? Things that you walk into a room and you're just like, holy shit, who did this?
too much clutter.
Clutter.
You know, chaos around you creates chaos in your mind. You know, there might be some people that be like, I thrive in chaos. And I'm like, I think you just try to tell yourself that you thrive in chaos. So that way you are fine with your place being a mess. But
Or also some
Yeah.
people shit, it kind of reminded me of a caller we had yesterday. It was like a relationship problem, but like she was used to her pain. You know, she was like used to this emotional state that she had got herself in, and that was like her new normal. And it was almost like she was almost proud of it, of her ability to endure that kind of state of mind. So I think that's similar to that, where people like say they thrive in situations where maybe they're just gotten used to it and they don't know how better it could be.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what the book is about. It's teaching you how to see those signs, teaching you how to take control of your space. You know, a lot of times a messy space is a bit overwhelming and people can't decide or can't bring themselves to really dive in. So it talks about, you know, start with your junk drawer. We've all got that junk drawer that's filled with crap that we'll never need again, but we can't seem to let go of it. You know, start by cleaning that out. And that gives you a sense of accomplishment, releases those endorphins, and helps you move on to the closet or to the bedroom. Or
Can I ask a polarizing
please.
design
Absolutely.
question?
A polarizing design question.
Karate chopped pillows.
What when you like
So
when you do that?
Yeah, I know some people are like stand by it, other people are like stop it.
So
why would you stand? Like, what's the point for the people who do it?
it's just, you know,
Give a crease?
Like, did you freak out when you came in and you saw that they were square?
I don't think that's going to hold a
that
crease.
they were just filled with something.
Oh yeah, Bob.
Those
does
aren't
not
like
hold
nice
shape.
pillows.
How do you like our studio?
I mean, if it
mean,
makes you
it's-
happy,
Ooh.
Bobby.
if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad, right? Is that what Sheryl Crow says?
Yeah. Well, we're starting over.
Yikes.
Yikes.
No, I mean,
So-
I like the green. I love green. Yeah.
It's like the same color as his car.
Any tips or tricks?
Almost. Yeah,
you
yeah.
have?
It is almost the same color as my car.
If you could give us one bit of advice for the studio, what would it be? I mean, things that you would be on camera, not the ceilings. Because he
I'm like,
looks at the
well,
ceiling.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's great.
I don't think
There
he
we
likes it at all.
No, give us a note.
Let's see.
Bobby's like, only one?
I think we should get rid of this second rug.
Allie, I didn't ask you.
Oh.
I like a layered rug, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do like a layered rug. I mean, I don't think I'd say
was actually
there's
Natalie's
nothing
idea.
that stands. I mean, that book that's on the top, it's bigger than the one in the middle, so that kind of bothers me.
Okay.
Just, visually.
There we go.
But other than that, I mean, I don't see anything. I didn't walk in and be like, oh, and I have walked into some podcasts and I'm like, oh, that's, like the Miami Sound Machine exploded all over you.
I still don't know why we have a Hunks and Heroes book.
Well,
Natalie? She bring that?
I was just buying a bunch of
She's
books
like,
when
babe,
I
it's
moved
you.
in, and then I think I just I ordered it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So your answer to your question is
So then we
you.
brought. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just-
but what do you
I
mean
know.
you don't know why?
I know.
You know why.
I know. I bought it. I don't know when I bought a bunch of books, but I just don't. It's like here.
Maybe it was on sale.
It's got Ryan Reynolds on the cover. I'm a big fan.
Canadian goat.
Are you Canadian?
No.
No.
I did, though, have a sweatshirt on earlier that said Canadian as fuck. And I was like, let me take that off because every time I wear it, people are like, oh, you're Canadian. I was like, no, just my Canadian crew got it for me when I was filming there.
Well, you're tall and
Is
white.
that-
So are you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, are
well,
you Canadian
I could
too?
be often mistaken as Canadian. Well, you're nice. You're pleasant.
Oh, you betcha.
Yeah. Are you?
No, sorry.
You're not.
Sorry. No, sorry.
Well, I could tell by your compliments of my studio.
Yeah, no, I don't think I say sorry enough to be Canadian.
Okay,
They do say it a lot.
they do.
Yeah, my last show I filmed up there, I'm like, all right, that word is banned from set because you guys say sorry for absolutely nothing. They'll walk into a room and they're like, oh, sorry. I'm like, for what? Like, for what? What are you sorry about? It dilutes it when you actually are sorry.
That's true.
Yeah.
What is a shop designing on a budget?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite places for you to shop if you're designing on a budget?
I would do flea markets,
Flea market.
Goodwill. My friends and I, we actually used to do decor swap parties to where things that we would be bored with in our home, we'd gather them all up and we'd go to a friend's
And
house
trade.
and we trade. Yeah.
Ooh,
I
So if
love
you,
that.
Yeah, if you have
ooh, I like
no
that.
money to change your
Yeah.
house up, but you want to do different things, like do a decor swap with your friends. You guys all will get
I like that.
cool stuff, but not have to pay for any of it.
Facebook Marketplace.
You do have
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
like
Facebook.
friends.
But Facebook Marketplace, it's everything. I feel like everything is a scam.
Oh, see,
Really?
majority
Yeah.
of my stuff is Facebook
No,
Marketplace.
oh, you've
yeah.
lucked out.
Yeah.
How do you like? When I go to a flea market,
Mhm.
I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because it's just
The smells.
no, it's just there's so much stuff. It's just like it's like for the first 15 seconds, everything looks cool, and it's like smelling perfume or cologne. It's just like after, and then my brain can't distinguish between like. I don't know what would look good, or is this cool, or is this like I just haven't seen it before? And then like, do you have is it just like innate a skill that you would have to just be like, I have a vision for this, I can see this, versus I find something and it's just like, I mean, I guess it's cool, and I'll buy it, and I'll be like, I don't know the fuck I should put this or where it goes, or like, what the fuck did I just buy this for?
I think it goes back to if it makes you happy, like, is it useful? Or is it something that makes you smile? Is it something that, brings up a warm, fuzzy memory? Those are the things that you should put in. And if you don't know exactly where you're going to put it, try it in different places. Move it around the house until you find that perfect spot for it.
Cool.
It's not design is not a science. It's very personal.
It's an art form.
Yeah, it's an art form. An art is subjective.
When you are designing at home, is it all you, or do you and your husband kind of?
So it used to just be all me,
Okay.
and then somewhere along the line, he got opinions.
How inconvenient for you.
So inconvenient. And then now he thinks it's him, but it's actually me just giving him 3 choices of things I would have already chosen and letting him choose.
What is
Yeah.
the secret to your relationship?
Never pooping in front of each other.
Okay.
Do you use separate bathrooms?
Absolutely.
I feel like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
have separate poop bathrooms.
Yeah. We've
I
been
don't know,
together.
we have to call it poop bathrooms.
But you guys go to your individual ones when you need to do it.
Yeah.
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 Everyone's like Natalie's got the bathroom.
She likes that one out in the hall. The other one.
You know a lot about his wife's pooping habits.
She
More
has
so than him.
She has the. She has
He
the.
texts me. He's like, "Where is Natalie?"
She has a bathroom in our main bathroom.
She has a bathroom in the main bathroom?
Our master bathroom has like one of those
Toilet
toilet
room.
closets.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I've been exiled into the
Yeah.
the community.
No, I mean, we've been
bathroom.
together for 20 years, and it's just like
20 years.
Yeah. Oh, 20 years in May next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
other than not pooping in the same bathroom,
I mean, I think the key to the success of my marriage is my husband, not me.
what do you mean by that?
He's very understanding. He's very chill, and I think it's a lot of times people will marry somebody that's very much just like them because they're like, oh, they're a lot of fun. But, him and I are very opposite. And I think that's one of the keys to our success is, we complement each other very well.
So I'm curious about that because lately I've talked a lot about just now like opposite personalities, but I'm assuming there's a lot of things that you enjoy doing together.
We do. And
Yeah.
that's another key. Like, I have friends that they go out all the time without their spouses and, and they do a lot of stuff without their spouses. And it is important to still have, me time. But we do everything.
Yeah.
We really, really do. Like, I would never just be like, hey, I'm going out with my friends. Have a good night. Like, I can't imagine doing that. I'd just be like, do you want to go? And if he didn't, then maybe I would. But like, I have a lot of friends who they're like, yeah, no, I make sure that at least a few nights a week, I just go out with my friends. And I'm like, oh, this is not.
Few nights a week?
I know. I'm like,
That's
this
half
is
the
not
week.
going to last. Yeah. I'm like, if you don't enjoy spending time with each other, like,
yeah, right.
that's a problem. Like, if you have to get your time with other people, like, that's a problem. Like, you should really be able to be with your spouse like all the time.
But I think so many people do that. I used to do that. I mean, Allie is, I think I've said this, the first person I've been with where we really enjoyed spending time
Yeah.
together. We liked watching the same stuff. We liked going to the same restaurants. We have very similar interests when
Yep.
it comes to our social lives.
Yeah.
Again, very different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of differences. So there's a lot of complementing,
Yep.
but compatibility in terms of enjoying being around your partner, I think is weirdly not prioritized enough in relationships.
I agree.
And I like when I was in my 20s, I refer to myself as a love martyr. It was like the more I honestly like disliked my partner, like the more I gave my credit to myself for like.
Thought you were gonna say
You
the
know,
more I gave your credit card.
I love them. Yeah.
The more I disliked her, the more I just bought her things.
Well, it was more like it was like you learn that like you gotta make relationships work. You gotta fight for love. So it would be like, well, I love her, but like I just don't really enjoy hanging out with. But
You
and like
can
I would
love
give
somebody
myself
and
more
not
credit.
like them,
Yeah,
but
and I would
that's not the person you should be with.
exactly. But I would give
yeah.
myself credit for there's so many people in relationships that you do have to. Every relationship takes a lot of work and it's hard and
And a lot of people aren't just willing to put the work in, and you do. Like we've had good times and we've had bad times, but a lot of people I think will also just give up when the bad times happen.
There's that
But,
too. Yeah.
You can't do that.
What's the hardest patch you've had to get through?
I think back in I think it was 2008, we broke up for like 6 months. He was in med school. We were living on the Upper East Side in New York. So he was always at the hospital, or if he was home, he was passed out or studying. And we were living on the Upper East Side. So by the time I'd get home at night, like I couldn't afford to go back downtown. And so I was miserable. I was in my, I was like 24 and in a committed relationship with none of the benefits of a relationship. So eventually I left him and I moved out. And then I realized it was just the Upper East Side I hated and not him.
Okay.
We moved and got back together and it was fine.
Did you guys have to make any adjustments in terms of like, is quality time a love language of yours?
Yeah. He had to realize that you don't get to have a boyfriend if you are putting nothing into the relationship,
Sure.
and I understood he was, becoming a doctor was a dream of his. So, we had to meet in the middle. Like some people would have been like, oh, well, you're not giving me the time I want, so we're not getting back together. Blah, 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 blah. So I had to meet in the middle and sacrifice, a little bit of the pros of a relationship. But in the end, it worked out. It was worth it.
I love that. Well, since you've been in a relationship for 20 years, you probably have a lot of wisdom to offer with just your experience. Is our caller here?
I believe one of them or both of them here. Yes.
Or we have two?
A mother-daughter duo.
Oh, okay.
Are they fighting over the same man?
No, the daughter is trying
I
to
wish.
help
I know.
us give
You
her
see?
mother relationship advice.
Okay. So mom is dating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, should we try to help him out,
Yeah,
Bobby?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Genevieve, how much money do you think you're wasting on apps you're not using?
So much.
So much.
And I don't even know how much. It's terrifying.
Well, you know how you can know? Use Rocket Money. Rocket Money. They are helping people save literally hundreds of dollars a year. Rocket Money. Did you know that most people think they're spending $80 on their subscriptions? You watch one show on a streaming service, you never use it again, but you keep paying for it. All those free trials that you try out and then you stop using, but you keep paying for it. Well, Rocket Money can help you easily cancel those ones that you don't use by just the press of a button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all the work for you. Rocket Money can even negotiate to lower your bills for you. Up to 20%. All you have to do is take a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money also recommends custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll even send you a notification when you've reached your spending limits. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved on average $720 a year. I literally saved like $800 by using Rocket Money because, boy, I have a lot of apps I haven't been using. Stop wasting money on those things that you do not use. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/VIALL. That is rocketmoney.com/VIALL. rocketmoney.com/VIALL. Rocket Money.
It is summertime,
It did.
and we are in LA.
Uh-huh.
Wherever you are, it's probably hot. You're
Mm.
probably really sweaty
So hot here.
and a little gross. And Lumi is a great solution for that.
Whole body deodorant. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body.
The founder is an OBGYN,
Ooh.
which just immediately makes me trust the product. I love that. She's met with thousands of women concerned with odor below the belt. And through clinical testing, she discovered it wasn't the vagina to blame, but the bacteria on the skin. Love that. So she created Lumi, a pH
I'm
optimized
glad we're not
aluminum
blaming
free.
the vagina anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
It was unfair. She created an aluminum-free deodorant that actually works and works everywhere. I love that. It's not a specific product. It works for the whole body.
It's aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free, pH balanced for safe use below the belt. Again, created by an OBGYN.
The starter pack is a really great place to start. It's really awesome for new customers like myself. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. I got the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. Super easy for just on the go. And free shipping.
Amanda's like in Australia, just using Lumi all day long, just with those wipes, just out there wiping herself down.
And as she should. Good for her.
As she should.
Yeah.
As a special offer to our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code VIALL at LumiDeodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use code VIALL. Again, that's LumiDeodorant.com and use code VIALL. How's it going?
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm 59.
I'm Ellie. I'm 28.
How can we help?
So my mom is 59 and hasn't been on a date in over a year.
Okay.
This guy she met online like months ago is flying to see her and she's freaking out.
Okay. A year's not that long of being off the market.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Why? So tell us about this guy.
No. I just haven't been on a date in a year. I haven't been in a relationship in over 15 years since I got divorced.
Okay.
So
No relationship in 15 years. But you have been on dates.
yeah, I tried last year and it was a epic fail.
Just one in particular was an
And
epic
I
fail,
quit.
or like multiple ones?
Yeah. Did you go on many? Or yeah, great question.
I went on about 4 dates. I went on Noel's advice. Noel's been my advisor. And so I went online, I went on a few dates, and I went on coffee dates, and then a couple of dinner dates. And I was so nervous. I was not comfortable. And I just finally gave up because I just didn't find anyone that I even resonated remotely with.
So you
So
said you
I
were
was like-
nervous and uncomfortable. Was it because of those guys? I mean, I assume guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so it was just
Yeah.
it was them. It wasn't you. It sounds like.
So it wasn't so much the
Well, they were
dating.
kind of weird. And I was like,
So, like I said, it was them, not you.
What was the weirdest one?
Well, one was he was actually interesting, but he actually fixes grandfather clocks. That's his profession.
He sounds
Kind of charming. Little
Yeah, that sounds really
sounds old.
Yeah, he sounds very exciting.
Well,
and
yeah, that's
vibrant.
the thing. It was very, very
Was it like
vibrant
watching
and
a clock
very
tick?
age
Was he on
appropriate.
time for the date?
Yes.
He was. Okay.
Very
no,
on
his watch
time.
was broken.
But he acted old, and he just like, even the walk was just like asking one foot permission to move the other. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to be anybody's nurse. Thank you.
All right, so I
Peace
mean,
out.
it sounds like you're just the dating experience thus far has been this. You haven't found very exciting guys. I mean, you seem very young and vibrant, and you're beautiful. Like you haven't yet found that
Thank
match
you.
yet. So who's this guy that you've been texting? You met online. How'd you meet him? Like on a dating website?
Well, during that time, I actually met him. He lives in Austin,
Texas.
and
City.
he's
Okay.
an EMT. And then he decided he was going to become a flight attendant. And so he took the test. He told me, I'm going to become a flight attendant, and then I'm going to come see you. This is a year ago. And then he ghosted.
Uh-oh.
And all of a sudden, a month ago, he's like, well, he showed up. It's like, okay, I told you I'm going to do this thing. I'm in the middle of the program. I'm about to graduate, and then I'll come see you.
Huh.
And then disappeared.
I
I'm
guess
like,
he was
whatever.
studying hard.
About a month ago, he's like, hey, stranger. And I'm like, so I ignored that first text. And then the second time, he's like, hey, stranger, do you remember me? And I'm like, hey, JD, just like, hey, I get a hey, I sent a hey back, just like, he's like, where are you these days? And I said, I'm in Philly. He's like, can you give me your schedule for the next month? I want to make sure I come see you and get this relationship started. And I'm like,
have you
okay,
have
so
you
I send the schedule.
have you FaceTime with this guy, or is
Yeah.
this all just
Yeah,
been
we FaceTime,
Okay, so he
and it
is
was
real.
really
Okay, so-
lovely. Oh, yeah. No, we
Yeah.
FaceTime, we met. Yeah. It wasn't one of like, send me money, I live in, So I gave him like 2 windows. I said, I'm going to be here. And then he said, okay, I'm coming over the 21st. And then I get a text saying, if you want to stay in my hotel, you can. And I said, well, dinner will be great. Because I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's a
I'm
little
already turned
forward.
off by that.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, well, do
And
me a
then-
favor and send me your itinerary for the next month, like August. And then I'll try to arrange my schedule where I can have layovers in those cities.
So
You could stay with me at the hotel if you like when I'm
here's something that doesn't add up to me. When you're a brand new flight attendant, you don't get to arrange your schedule at all. You go where you're told.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit of a.
Yeah.
No, it's been a year, so I don't know if they're
How
that,
old is
that
JD?
flexible. He's 57.
57. Okay.
And he just became interesting.
Yeah,
There's
and they
just a lot
accepted him,
that-
which is like,
Yeah, it's odd to me. Yeah. Have you done a background check on this guy?
no.
I would. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I do that. I've learned my lesson
You-
years ago. I do on a lot of anybody.
Ellie, what dating tips have you given Mom?
Clearly not very good ones. I just encourage her to go out there and meet people. And she's like, we'll download an app for like 30 minutes and then be like, I can't do it. And just like deletes it immediately. And then 6 months go by and then she's like, I want to meet someone. And I'm like, well, you either go out and like socialize, which is not something that's comes naturally to either of us. So I said, I just keep encouraging her to get on the apps and just try to meet people and go on dinner dates and just get out there. But it doesn't work.
You seem like a pretty active person. You're going to Mexico City. You're traveling. Like, are you meeting when you who are you traveling with?
Well, no, I travel with my dog
Okay.
and I have a handpan. I'm an actor. I do voiceovers. I'm a sound healer.
What's a sound healer?
With the bowls?
Like sound baths?
I with a handpan. I actually
Oh.
use my voice to align people's energy centers
Oh, wow.
What-
and help them regain their health.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Honest, the coolest
It's
person I've
really
ever met in my
Yeah.
life.
Oh my God.
And so,
thank you.
and you travel a lot on your own.
I do. I go, I've been I drive cross country by myself with my dog to go see Noelle and the babies. I've been back and forth from Nashville to Philadelphia 3 times in the past year and a half. I'm busy. I play pickleball.
Are you not meeting men when
know,
you may
she
play
laughs at
pickleball?
me.
No, that's great.
No, I
Like,
just think it's so cute.
yeah. Who are you playing pickleball with?
Well, I play with a lot of couples. I know a lot of people, but I don't know any single men. It's so weird.
Do all
It's
your
like
couple friends know that you are interested in meeting somebody and would like a relationship and would love some
Yes.
referrals?
And they're like, no, we wouldn't introduce you to them. We wouldn't introduce you to
Oh,
him. We
there's a
wouldn't.
lot.
They're like, oh, I have someone. And then they're like, no, he's too boring. He's too this. He's too
well,
they're like, no.
I think they should let you be the judge of that. I think you should tell your friends, like, as long as they're not an asshole, hey, I'll grab coffee with them, because you never know that some guy
Right.
might be boring to them, but that's because maybe they're putting out boring energy themselves. Maybe it would be somebody right for you,
That is true. I
Yeah.
mean, here's the thing about dating. It's just like, as I always, you do have to like shift through dirt to find gold,
Yeah.
so to speak.
You know,
And you're
my husband, we've been together for 20 years, and my friends, you literally used to say he was boring and they didn't like him because he didn't talk, but he was just really shy, and he was in med school and he was very focused on his career. But, with me, he's a very different person. So don't always just be like, if you're interested in somebody, don't necessarily take the advice of a friend of, oh, they're boring. Because you know what? The friend might be the boring one. They might actually be perfect for you.
yeah, it's just in dating apps,
True.
they're just such a. I'm becoming less and less pro dating app. They're just
Your wife probably doesn't like you on them,
yeah.
right?
No, this is not a big fan.
It's like
of using
less
a
and
dating app.
less. I'm
Less and
still
less.
doing them, but I'm becoming less and less pro dating app.
No, but just for people in general. They're kind of cesspools for people who
Yeah.
I don't think who are well intentioned in dating.
Agreed.
Unfortunately.
That's why I think that even if it's really great to meet people through friends, even if they're like, oh, we don't think this is the right guy for you, as long as they don't think he's the wrong guy for you because he's not a good person. You know, if they're like, oh, he's a good person, but I think he might be a little boring. Find out for yourself. You know, you might spark something in him that gets rid of that boringness and brings out vibrancy and life, you know. So if ultimately he's a good person, try it.
So you said you FaceTime with this person and it was lovely, you said.
Yes.
What was lovely about it?
Yeah, we had a beautiful conversation. He was interesting. He was funny. He told me about all the work he does, and he's really, you know, he's an EMT. He saves people's lives, and he's very athletic, which I like.
Yeah. Has he sent you a picture of him in his new uniform?
Not in his new uniform.
I always assume the worst
Noel,
in
just
people. I
share
assume
what
everyone's a
he
scam.
sent to me.
Yeah.
Well,
and the
there's
reason
been-
why I want to cancel, there's been new developments.
Well, bring us up to speed. So you want to cancel?
I want to cancel.
Okay, tell us
and
why.
Noel's like trying to convince me not to.
There, I mean, just in these text messages, there's a couple red flags. Yeah. Like the ghosting red flag. You can like, I've never met a guy who's offered to have someone he's never met stay in their hotel room who didn't want to just have sex.
Well, that's clearly what he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can stay with me
wants.
in my hotel if you want. I promise I'll put a pillow in between us.
It's like, I won't murder you.
I think that a first date should always absolutely be in public. You should never let somebody know where you live or even what neighborhood you live in until multiple dates. And I mean, this person sounds like they live a long way from you. There's, you know, so it's not a relationship that you could really necessarily get into. And there's just a lot of red flags.
So, what's the new development? Like, what, other than you hearing a story about
this is going to seal the deal.
Well, he sent her a topless photo of him in bed, like with no shirt on, like super awkward.
Do you have this photo?
So I do. I rest my case. Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, okay, that's the end of this.
I was advocating so hard for this guy.
Oh my!
Okay.
Wait, is he in bed or in a car? Wait,
he looks like Mr. Clean.
No.
He's handsome. Listen, I don't think he's your person.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Right. But you know, listen. You've mentioned that you went on some dates, you know, a year ago and they weren't great. As we talked about, like, I don't know what, like, in overall, like, what is your goal from dating? Are you just trying to like have something to do and meet interesting people? Are you hoping to like meet someone and get into some type of relationship? Like at 59 years old, you're a mother, you're a grandmother. Are you even interested in getting married? Or are you just looking for like a companion to like play pickleball with? Like, what is when it comes to dating, what's your goal?
Yeah. So I wish I could just skip the dating part and just find
Everyone
someone
says
that I could be friends with.
Okay.
That I could have maybe a relationship with. I have zero intentions of getting married. I mean, hell would have to freeze over for me to get married again. I did it once. I learned my lesson. It was like, I'm a quick learner. I do it once.
Well,
I don't have to do it again.
I wouldn't say that.
And,
you know, you learned your lesson that marrying the wrong person is not great. Yeah.
Correct. But I'm not, that's not my goal.
Yeah, marriage is unnecessary.
If it becomes the consequence of a wonderful relationship, then yes, of course.
What a positive outset.
But that's not like my intention is not, I'm not looking for someone to marry. I'm not looking for someone to take care of me. I'm looking for a companion that can carry their weight, that can be supportive. One of the things that I feel just being there when I have to make so many decisions for my family, for myself. Some days I wish somebody would just make a decision of where I'm going to go to dinner.
Okay.
Right? Somebody to say, we're going to dinner, just get dressed, I'll take you. I know you like Mexican food. I know you like Italian food. I know you like French food, and just take me to a place where I don't want somebody asking me, well, where do you want to go? Like, please don't make me think. But I would want someone to just really, how shall I put it? have a male energy that is, let's say I need to climb up on the roof and fix something in my roof. I don't have to do it myself, because
like
I
a
find
handyman.
myself just doing all the male stuff that I don't want to be doing.
So good
if somebody
taste in
would
restaurants.
actually
You're looking for
and
somebody to
handyman.
take you out to restaurants and fix stuff around your house. All right.
No, and be a good friend and play pickleball and have great conversation.
Okay. So you're looking
and
for a
just-
friend, a male companion,
Mostly
and
a friend.
okay. And
Yeah.
how like where would you rank like romantic intimacy on your like list of priorities?
Oh, it would definitely be a priority.
Okay,
I would
Okay.
have
Because
to
I
be
was going to say, it to
attractive.
me, it sounds like you need a gay best friend.
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
No, I don't need one.
Because I'm
I
like,
have
we
one.
love to just tell you where we're going to go to dinner, and we love to fix things around your house.
Yeah.
But play
the,
pickleball.
I
the
have a
intimacy
couple.
part, though, is usually where we draw the line.
Yeah.
So if that is
It's
important, then
like-
yeah, you do need a straight guy.
All right.
That is important.
When it comes to dating, everyone, I don't care if you're 59 or you're 22, most people, the vast majority of people don't like dating. It's not
Yeah.
fun. They wish they could just have someone show up and be compatible with and have chemistry with, and that would be great. But it's just not how it works these days. And
No.
if you want to meet someone, chances are you're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit. You're going to have to be willing to meet people that, you might not hit it off with immediately. You might have to go through some dates where the vibe at the dinner table isn't just, they're not your person. You're going to have to.
Right.
So when it comes to JD, I don't think this guy's your person.
Yeah.
That being said, you had a nice FaceTime with, you had a nice chat. And like anything, like dating takes practice,
Mhm.
And so you're not an activator, you're not out there. Shit. Everyone in adult life gets comfortable with their lifestyle and comfortable in their own skin. And I imagine at 59 years old, you've carved out yourself a nice life. You got your nice friends, you got your community, you got your daughter. And so I'm assuming you're very much set in your ways, which is great. But on some level, if you want to meet someone, you might have to just push your comfort zone a little
Mhm.
bit. So while I don't think JD's your
Yeah.
guy, I kind of agree with your daughter where it's like, go on safe public space. Maybe it's not even a whole dinner date. Maybe it's like, listen, I'm busy.
No.
Let's grab coffee, afternoon date, keep it real simple.
and if
You
it-
have a nice out.
Yeah, if it goes well, then you're like, hey, let's
Yeah.
grab some lunch or
Yeah.
let's do dinner. But yeah, always keep it, like you're saying, as small amount of time as
Yeah,
possible.
meet
Yeah.
at like 3 or 4 o'clock. So that like if the conversation goes well, coffee or a drink or whatever, it could roll into a
Yeah.
dinner or things like that. But I
Right.
guess what I'm saying is, what's the harm in going out with this guy and already telling yourself, this is not going to be my person, but just kind of getting good at you're going to have some of these conversations with these strangers
Mhm.
that most of these men, 5-10 minutes in the date, you're going to think to yourself, this isn't my guy. But it takes practice to kind of
Mhm.
ask these questions and get to know them. And I always say, when it comes to dating, instead of thinking about, is this going to be the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with or play pickleball, just be naturally curious. Like, just be interested in making friends. And eventually maybe you might strike up some
You
interest.
might meet somebody through the person that you went on a date with
Yeah.
that didn't work. But if you never put yourself out there, you're not going to find that.
Yeah,
you know?
I just think that, it's like, I feel like you're trying to meet someone, maybe have a FaceTime chat or two, and then decide through a few, internet interactions whether they're going to be your person. And in the meantime, it's pretty easy
Well, not
for.
necessarily. I just get freaked out when somebody sends me a shirtless photo.
Well,
and it's
Yeah,
like
I mean, that
turn
was a
off
little
for
too
me.
forward, I think.
It's a little too forward,
Yeah.
but I think men are pretty good, and I think you would agree with me, are really good at turning off. Straight men are really good at turning off women without even trying. It's like it comes very naturally to us.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's impressive, honestly.
It's like, yeah.
Did you say anything to him when he sent said photo?
No, that is where I left it. She's like, okay, don't do any. I said, I'm canceling. And she's like, do not until we have this advice session with you guys.
You
She's
should have
like,
said
"Wait
never do
till-"
that again.
Yeah, just be honest with him.
Delete that
was
photo.
that was a
Delete that photo.
that was a little much. Yeah.
Burn it.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I think dating it takes practice to have that banter, the comfort level of pushing back or teasing them friendly or just being like, "Oh, that's not for me," you know? I think his comfort level of dating is probably strong.
Yeah.
He's out there, my guess is he's extremely active on the app, you know.
Yeah, I don't think this guy is looking for a relationship. And I mean, it doesn't seem, he lives in another city. It's not really somebody that you can have a friend with either. He's not going to be able to call you up and be like, hey, let's go to dinner. It's going to be, hey, I'm in town. Meet me at my hotel. That's the vibe I'm getting from him.
When he asked if you wanted to stay in his hotel room and you're just like, you didn't even respond to it, which is great.
No, I said dinner. I said dinner sounds great.
So, but after that, that's when he sent this shirtless selfie?
He said, I said dinner sounds great. Do you have plans? What are the plans? He said, I don't have any plans yet, which yet saved the thing.
He lands the 21st at 2 p.m.
And then he said, you're going to fall for me, and sent me that photo.
Ew.
Exactly.
You should have responded, ew.
See?
Yeah. Ew.
See?
Ew. Yeah. No, he seems a little skeevy.
He's probably pretty charming.
Yeah. They always are until they try to cut your skin off and wear
That's
it.
true.
Oh,
Hello.
ew.
One puts the lotion on its skin, or else one gets the hose.
All jokes aside, I agree with your daughter in the sense that other than being murdered, I'm just kidding. What's the harm, you know? But like, here's what I think you should do. I think you should set some expectations and boundaries with them, and just say, hey, listen. You could say, oh, I'm old fashioned. I like to take things slow. He clearly doesn't like to take things slow. So I think you should put out there things that you're comfortable with. Hey, I'm more of a slow burn type of gal. You know, I prefer like for first dates, I like coffee dates in the park. It's your home turf. So you should be able to pick the place, and you should say, I'm a slow burn. I like to take it slow. How about we meet here? He says he lands at 2. So meet at 5 p.m. and just say, if you want to get together, here's where we should meet, but I like to take things slow. And you'll find out pretty quickly if he's still interested in meeting you, because it wouldn't shock me if, you know, Mr. Shirtless Selfie, who's already inviting you to his hotel room, might opt out. You know, you putting your upfront you know, so it's always good to put upfront expectations about what you're comfortable with. That immediately starts weeding out the wrong people, you know? People will, you know, they'll tell you who they are, so to speak. He's telling you who he is, someone who's in town. He's looking to meet up with a friend. If you're down, have some fun. Now, he's still, you know, he might be forward and still down. He might be like, okay, well, I tried, you know, but sure, I'll still meet you for coffee. And clearly is someone who likes a challenge. So you saying, well, I move slowly, I could easily see him still showing up and be like, all right, well, you move slowly, but not with me. But you know what I'm saying? So like, I think you go and have an out, you know, have some girlfriends like ready to meet up with you later, or just like have an out story. But I think if you are willing, I think it could be good practice. I do
Agreed.
think if you want to meet someone, you're going to have to get a little bit out of your comfort zone in your shell, as everyone does. And I think it's harder as we get older to get out of our comfort zone. You know, we carve out these very nice, comfortable lives, but you know, unless you want to get set up with one of your friends' boring guys, which I do agree with Bobby, you know,
Yeah,
so
because the right person's always going to bring out great things in you, and you're the same with them, you know. So.
And I just think for someone who's been off the market, you know, as long as you have, by kind of you do, you know, and that's you taking yourself off the market, I think you could take some practice reps, you know. You didn't get good at pickleball the first time you stepped on the court, you know. So everything takes a little practice. I think dating as well. And I think the better you are at something, the more likely you are to be yourself, the more comfortable you're going to get. So you're just, it's highly unlikely, you know, your perfect person is going to show up at your door and you're going to fall in love. You're going to have to kind of get to know someone. And people get nervous on dates. It's hard to be yourself on a first date, you know? And so going on a date with someone like JD, while he might not be your person, it might set you up for someone else who's a nice person, who also might be a little nervous too when you meet them. And maybe you being more comfortable could help, take that maybe boring guy and help him get out of his skin and realize, not literally, and that might be a nice person to date. So I think you just have to push yourself to get out there a little bit more, take your dog's advice, and just be a little bit more outgoing, go at your own pace, but challenge yourself not to just be so easily, because I think if you give especially on dating apps, if you give a straight guy enough cracks at the bat, they'll turn you off. Which is why I always say, like, stop texting on dating apps, because it's just eventually it's just a matter of time before they give you the ick. You don't know these people. You don't know their their humor, and so it's just so easy to be like, no, not for me. So my general bit of advice is to get out of your comfort zone. All right, you're going to go on the date, and then you're going to give us an update, and we want to hear all about JD.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for calling. No, this is great. I appreciate it.
You.
It's always nice to hear, people dating in all different age ranges, where we have more and more single people out there than ever before. I think, it's just hard to put yourself out there. And I think it's great that you're doing that. And you're only 59 years old. You're beautiful. You have a lot of great years and exciting years ahead of you. And hopefully you're lucky enough to find someone to enjoy that with. And I think if you want to, you will. You just have to be a little patient and a little more open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Well, can't wait to hear about your date.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
I know before we started a call, you don't celebrate Valentine's Day or other holidays with your partner. And I'd love to know, how's that work?
I mean, it works perfect for us. Neither of us are into those. I guess you could say we're not really romantic people, but we are. Like, we have.
Maybe you're just not gifts people when it comes to love languages.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, I never really celebrated birthdays much growing up either. I mean, we did, but it wasn't like
we would get along.
We weren't those families where you're like, oh, it's your birth week or it's your birth month.
Oh,
and like
God.
everything is about your fucking birthday. I have some friends like that. I love you, but it drives me nuts. I'm like, you get a day.
I like you, Bobby.
That's it. You get a day, and the rest of the year, I'm still going to treat you like a queen, but don't force me to do all these things for this week because it's your birthday.
The birthday weekend. At first it was weekend, then it was week.
Now it's a month.
Then it's like a month. Like, hey, have the whole year.
Yeah,
fuck
great.
you,
So yeah, I mean, we just really go out of our way to do things that are special for each other all the time. And so we just feel like being forced, that pressure of, oh, it's Valentine's. We've got to go out to dinner. We've got to get a gift. Like, it's bullshit. Yeah. Natalie's your wife. Yeah.
Fiance.
Yeah. Natalie, don't make him. Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, I mean, now he's wonderful.
Oh yeah. No.
She doesn't do she does like her birthday. I'm curmudgeon-y when it comes to.
Same.
I'm a grump. Like, I'm not fun. Like, at all. But to your point, I can be quiet and boring. But I'd like to think that my friends would want to set me up with someone if I were back in the day. I've never asked my questions.
Well, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I hated I would never go. I would never let myself be set up. It's like, I want to be wanted, as we all do. I don't even want to go to your party. Just, I want the invitation. I don't want to be set up, but I do want to think that you would set me up.
Mm-hmm. I do. I feel the same way.
Bobby knows.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thanks,
Bobby. Please let my audience know where they can find you. When's your book come out? Can they pre-order it? Is it available?
Yeah, you can pre-order it now. It's called Right at Home, How Good Design is Good for the Mind. You get it Barnes & Noble, Amazon, my website, bobbyberk.com. And then my Instagram and TikTok's just at Bobby.
Amazing.
Just Bobby?
How
did you get that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I asked for it and they gave it to me.
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com. Don't forget, we're live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Better Date Than Never. Be sure to check out all our amazing episodes that we've dropped this week, plus Viall Files Plus. We'll see you back on Monday. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.